Hello, Miss Perfect Imperfection. I think that's your screen name, Miss Shannon. So don't mind where I'm at. I'm in my bedroom right now. I still haven't gotten my things to set up my office. So this is like the best I can do right now, but it's still going to be the same reading anyway. So we're using Shaman's Dream for your main spread. We're going to clarify with Mythical Goddess, and we're going to get a message from your spirits and guides of something you may not see coming, your angels and guides, with Deep, Dark, and Dangerous. So with that being said, sorry, like I said, I'm not really set up for this yet, but I will be soon. I've got about another week and a half before I have everything really here and settled. Calling on angels, spirit guides, guardian angels, spirit in general, your ancestors, deceased loved ones, any other worldly attachments you may have, extraterrestrial, earth, angel, star seed, shapeshifter, star ancestor, fairy, etc. Any higher elevational, higher dimensional beings of love, light, and peace that want to come through the universe and the cosmos for Miss Shannon, Perfect Imperfection. And this is for the month of November. All right. I'm going to start it today, though. So the rest of October through November. And if I see anything further, I'll definitely let you know. Come on. Okay. All right. I hope you're doing well. I hope you have an amazing birthday. Okay, great. So the first card you pulled is card number 62, Will-o'-the-Wisp, Treasures Hidden in the Shadows. We're going to talk about that. Card number 1, a tidy house, clarity and organization. So definitely cleaning up spiritually and physically to make room for the changes that are coming in. Vanishing Mirror, ego sublimation. So let's see what the book has to say, and then I'll let you know what I'm getting from Spirit here. Will-o'-the-Wisp, Treasures Hidden in the Shadows, the Great Mystery, Epiphany. Will-o'-the-Wisp hovers in the luminescent glory above the twilight moors of your life, whispering for you to step into the fog, into the mystery, the unknown. You may have been visited by her before, but though intrigued, you refused her invitation. It would be safer you decided to remain on the journey you knew. While you always have a choice as to whether to follow her or not, you never know when you might encounter her again. In this sense, turning away has its own consequences. Why is the known so appealing? It's only when you wake up to its restrictions, its soft prison or golden cage, that you realize there must be more. Will-o'-the-Wisp has come to you once again to offer you magic, but you will have to sacrifice certainty in the pursuit of adventure, your comfort zone for the dangers of discovery, your well-trodden path for the detours that may very well lead you astray. Or will they? Can you accept that losing yourself will bring you closer to your true self? The profound shift of an epiphany can only occur when you risk the detour and enter the unknown. Now is the time to trust higher forces to lead you into this place, these worlds hidden at the threshold between what was and what can be. Here is where you will learn about your own unmaking, to unmask yourself. Love what you discover, dark or light. See it all as divine, and find a quiet, thrumming power waiting for you to channel it into the world for good. The treasure you find, filled with the wealth of love and kindness, true prosperity, is ripe to share with others. She is here for you now. Will you accept her invitation? A great bounty of goodness awaits you. This is a really important card. This is major change and transformation coming in for you, but you have to be willing to take the opportunity of it. So I feel like you're being presented in the next month or so, the next few weeks, with this opportunity. It's a really scary one. I can see it. I can see you kind of thinking like, oh, I really want to do this, but how is that going to work? I'm going to have to do A. It's going to be the hard choice, not to simply sit in your own comfort, not to continue on as you are because it's what's known and usual. This card is asking you to take a leap of faith, and to really trust that this opportunity being presented is something that's actually going to change your life for the better. Now, you can stay on the path that you're on and not accept the will-o'-the-wisp's offer in the form of the universe giving you an offer, right? But that's not where you're going to end up being the most spiritually aligned. Whatever this opportunity is, if you take it, whether you realize it or not, I don't think you're going to realize it at first. But after a little while, you're going to come to understand that this opportunity is actually something that's majorly life-altering, mainly in a spiritual way. Let's see what a tidy house has to say. It's card number 1. Clarity and organization, a thorough inventory, an auspicious symbol. If your emotional world feels messy and unruly, you can't seem to get clear, it's time to see how your environment is affecting you. Although your inner world has a huge impact on what shows up in your outer world, the reverse is also true. You can be influenced by the people who populate your daily life and the energy of the objects you surround yourself with, basically everything in your surroundings. Now is the time for an inventory and full clearing of your environment. Ask for clarity from your relationships and do not make assumptions at this time. Clear and unambiguous communication is key. You may choose to let go of some people from your life when this card shows up. This is a good thing. Otherwise, you might stay in these relationships too long out of a sense of obligation and social courtesy when in truth there is nothing holding you together. That's what I was talking about with the will-o'-the-wisp, like just being comfortable. And you have to ask yourself, when this opportunity or these opportunities, could be more than one, present themselves, are you staying where you are and not taking this leap of faith out of being comfortable and not wanting to have to do a lot of hard things, make a lot of hard choices and decisions? Be impeccable with your word, say what you mean, and be willing to make whatever changes are necessary to clean up your side of the street. If you know you are doing the right thing, it doesn't matter who has an opinion about it. That said, right now, once you are sure your proverbial house is a tidy one, there is a release of energy to begin things new, to enjoy life, and to know with certainty that you are on the right path. So these cards actually go perfectly together. We're talking about a spring cleaning, a physical one, of your house, your office, of yourself. Spring cleaning in October or November, right? And I feel like the more things that you're not using, that you're just holding on to for sentimental purpose or simply because, the more that you're going to, the more you hold on to them, the more you're going to feel stuck and stagnant, and the more blind you're going to become to these opportunities. There are people who don't want to see you grow and change, and we talked about this a lot in Wednesday night's readings. It keeps coming up over and over again. People who don't understand why you're making the decisions you are. And you have to decide, like, if you're really doing the right thing and you really feel like you're making the right decision, you're being called to your spiritual path. Are you going to answer it or not? It's completely up to you. There's no punishment if you don't answer. The punishment may come later, but it's not really a punishment. You've punished yourself by not accepting this amazing opportunity to grow spiritually. So there are going to be people who are afraid of change, just like you may be, and they're going to try with everything they have to talk you out of it. And that's why you have to be clear and concise when you speak. I'm doing this. You don't have to explain yourself, but if you want to, do it. Explain yourself. Explain why this is so important to you. There's something big coming. Major change, but it's not a tower moment where it's going to be forced on you. This is something that you're going to have to accept and then work to get there. Like a job opportunity on the other side of the country, right? That is a lot of stress. That is a lot to do. Finding somewhere to live, getting all your stuff there, changing jobs. But the juice will be worth the squeeze because it's going to bring in more opportunity for you to move closer to your spiritual purpose. If whatever the opportunity is isn't your spiritual purpose outright. Let's see the final card of your main spread. It's card number 58, Vanishing Mirror. And that's Ego Sublimation. 58. I love this card, just the look of it. Ego sublimation, letting go of self-centeredness, becoming a vessel of possibility. Do you ever wonder if your self-definition has become too rigid, too fixed around what you've come to learn so that you contract your life in the zones of safe versus unsafe? This here is okay, but over there, well, that might be too risky. That's what I was just talking about. Judgment, fear, self-righteousness, and overconfidence are only some of the traits that keep you from evolving, keeps us all from evolving. We are all products of our conditioning, so remember that this is part of the human experience. You are not meant to remain static, seeking only what you expect, even if it appears ambitious. It's still too narrow. You go nowhere when you hesitate to move out of your comfort zone. When you focus too much on yourself this way, you become a servant of the ego. It, quote, edges God out, EGO, removing the magic of possibility. Imagine looking into a mirror and seeing only what you are now. If you can let your self-definition soften, maybe beyond the veil to your potential, a magical emptiness exists where all things are possible. Look again. Who could you be? What would you see reflected if you allowed yourself to be other than how you define yourself now? Nothing less is required of you now. In this moment, let go of who you think you are and allow a new you to emerge. You will recognize yourself as what you are, a partner in co-creation, in service to the divine. Doesn't it feel good? This is really amazing. All three of these cards are telling you a major opportunity for change is coming in. And there could be more than one. So you're going to have choices here. The thing is, not accepting any of them, not taking any of them, not even considering any of them is going to leave you stuck and stagnant. And you are going to regret it. I do feel like there's something coming in that's really heavy. Like the decision is going to be super duper hard for you to either get out of this relationship or get this new job across the country or whatever it is. But it's like your soul journey, your spirituality is your best you, your higher self, your full potential is at stake if you don't accept it. I can relate to this with what I'm going through. I didn't make the choice. So the universe made it for me. So I had a tower moment. But the reason I didn't make the choice to just get up and leave is because I was comfortable in my misery. It was easy to just stay. And the universe doesn't like that. And if you don't accept any of these opportunities, I would say accept the hardest one. It's like the universe testing you. If you don't accept any of them, eventually, and I can't see that far with just a few cards, eventually you're going to have a tower moment and you're going to be forced to move out of your comfort zone, because I know that for an absolute fact, because the universe is calling you to do it. Let's get some clarification for you, Shannon. All right. You pulled the Nine of Wind. It's the card of criticism. And again, I'm not surprised because these people around you who are only seeming to want the best for you. But I think you know, whoever these people or this person is who is not going to be happy at all that you're growing and changing and evolving for whatever reason. Self-serving for sure. Moon in Gemini. Oh no, I'm sorry. Mars in Gemini. This frightening woman illustrates the destructive power of the mind. Beauty, creativity, and innocence are slain through criticism and judgment. Criticism stems from self-hate and focuses outward, harming others. The negative power of the critical mind and condemning words destroy from the inside out, creating even more destruction. She is a reminder that the quality of the thoughts held and words spoken reveal what you love or criticize in yourself and others. Show yourself mercy, understanding, and forgiveness. Love yourself and others without condition so that the angry internal patterns of self-condemnation and criticism can be released in you forever. This is talking about the criticism, the people who are not going to understand what's going on with you. They might bring up time in the past when you tried to take a leap of faith and make a decision this way and you didn't succeed. They may bring up something they feel you owe them. You know, after everything I did for you, you're going to leave me. After everything I did for you, you're going to quit this job. Like things like that. I hear that in my head. So that's very specific. What this is saying is you can't let it bog you down. At the end of the day, you have to make the right decisions for you. And as human beings, especially sensitives, it's really hard for us to do that because we can feel the other person's disappointment, the other person's anger, and God forbid someone should be mad at us or displeased. It's time for a change in that way too. And everything that I'm saying to you, like, I'm going to take this advice myself. Stand up for who you really want to be. Your best self. Why shouldn't you be your best self? There's a lot of manipulation going on in your energy. And you are stuck and stagnant, for sure. I can't wait for you to tell me whatever this offer is that's going to pull you out of this. Let's get another card of clarification, please. 2 more. Pull one now. Come on. This deck has 70-something cards because it's it's like a tarot oracle, and it's very hard to shuffle. Here we go. Athena, card number 7, the Chariot. Moving forward without looking back. Also could be dealing with a Cancer or someone with a lot of Cancer energy, right? And that's a major arcana. Athena, Greek warrior goddess, breathed the soul into humans and provided fire, the life-giving olive tree, goldsmithing, and tools to bridle the power of oxen and horses. Athena is skilled in the art of war and is the protector of the people. The goddess of agriculture, weaving, and the arts, she is powerful and practical. Athena is the lunar force behind the intention that moves her to her goal. Riding her chariot, her horses drive her forward and focused with power. Athena exemplifies what can be done with your artistic creative skills when you follow her lead and drive your chariots straight to your goals. I don't know why I'm stuttering today. She is the ultimate balance of action and receptivity, of reaching success through power, strength, and endurance. Athena is perfect timing, embodying the principles of change and movement. Athena's powerful example of stamina and focus aids you in finding your rhythm to achieve your victory in life, keeping your quote-unquote eyes on the prize. No distractions can come between you and your target. Follow Athena's war cry. Be willing to fight the battles that are necessary and find in yourself the endurance to ride catalytic change and triumph over all obstacles. In the original tarot card, Athena is driving out of a city, and it's a very rich city, but she knows that she is capable of so much more. She doesn't look back. She's got her warrior armor on, okay? She is driving into the fire. She's not looking back. Yin and yang, balance. She's riding towards and striving for balance in her life. That is her whole point here. To move away from the ego. To kind of beat her own ego, her own overconfidence into submission. She's not looking back to see what everyone else thinks. She's not listening to the ego telling her, you know, don't change, don't do this. She's just going forward. No stopping motion for the chariot, okay? And there never is until she reaches her ultimate goal. So all the naysayers, all the people that are talking shit, like, she's not even like, boy, girl, bye, right? She doesn't care. And that's kind of how you have to become. Just very short-sighted, but in a good way. Like, the only thing you should be focused on right now are these changes. Your ego, your own inner self, that's what I'm feeling with this card, is telling you that change is bad because what if you don't succeed? That hurts the ego. Guess what? The universe is telling you that if you take all the right steps and you follow your intuition, take the opportunity or opportunities that are being presented to you, you will not and you cannot fail. Period. Let's get one more card of clarification before we see what you don't see coming or might not see coming. Very good. Callie, death, major change and transformation. All 6 of these cards say the exact same thing, which is crazy. That doesn't happen often, but I got to tell you, it has been happening a lot lately. Card number 13. And it is the death card, the Scorpio connection here. Kali, the fierce ancient Hindu goddess, is the very power of death and resurrection. She devours time and transcends all form. She brings massive and total transition. Kali is the dancing goddess who has the power to destroy all life and yet is the liberated deity who is free from all attachment to form. Kali's uncontrollable force of destruction heralds massive and often sudden transformation, bringing ultimate freedom from the human condition. Her red tongue consumes all, and the lifeless heads that adorn her symbolize the destruction of ignorance and the beginning of wisdom. The severed head in her hand symbolizes the disconnect from false knowledge and illusion that results from addiction to the world of form, what we already know. She severs your ties with what you know and pulls you into the unknown. Is it going to be being pulled kicking and screaming? Callie assists you in facing your fear of pain and loss, that you may be free to receive her protection and move forward. During times in your life when it seems the world is coming to an end, Callie provides the constant reassurance that through the Scorpio cycles of death and destruction of outmoded form, rebirth comes. Through the shedding of what no longer serves you comes ultimate freedom. Moving on in your power. A tidy house. That's not just your physical home. That's you, your soul, your spirit. Moving on from people, places, things, objects even, situations that just aren't working for you anymore. Instead of sitting comfortable in your misery, it is time for a major change. And let me tell you something, after death, I don't know if it's in this order, but after death, the tower comes universally. So this is what I was trying to say to you before. If you don't take the opportunity, it's not going to come back until it's absolutely forced upon you, because right now you are not where you're supposed to be. You're not where you're contracted to be. You're not on your spiritual path. That doesn't mean you're not doing well, but there's one situation in your life that you know absolutely must change. Could be more than one, but there's definitely at least one. Otherwise, these cards wouldn't be coming up. I want you to do a spring cleaning, literally, of your house, okay? And I think you're going to come across something that could present this opportunity to you. I think that's where it could come from. It could come from an email, a text message, a friend, but I'm getting more. I'm seeing you going through like your closet or under your bed, cleaning, and you come across something and you're like, oh yeah, I remember this. And it just leads you on this whole new path. You're going to have to really fight for it. There's going to be a lot of opposition, people who don't want to see this change happen, who are going to tell you everything that's wrong with the decisions that you're making, and you are going to have to just ignore them. Unfortunately, you're probably going to have to walk away from these people until you succeed, only to look back and say, I told you so. What you may not see coming. Great. I can't pronounce hardly any of these. The Gunakadate. It is the card of blessings. So card number 10, it's a deep card. It's a very long description. I remember this coming up last night in the personals, but we've got 10. Look deeper. Something that may seem like a curse is actually a blessing. Truth finds a way to be told. You are loved and protected. The Tlingit people have a deep, beautiful myth concerning a creature called the Gunakadate. A young man belongs to a village that is poor and fishing is not good. There's little to eat. He lives with his wife and mother-in-law, the latter who thinks him lazy. One night he is walking along the beach looking for food, and in the quick coming darkness he sees a sea monster close to the shore. The monster steps up to the shore and the young man captures and kills it. He skins the creature thinking that the meat may be useful, but has the urge to try the monster's skin on. The skin melds with his skin and he delves into the ocean as the monster called the Gunakadate. He finds swimming as the monster through the sea invigorating. He sees and learns about another world. That's you. Seeing and learning about another world where you're free, where you're happy, where you're your best self, living your best life. Just before dawn, he returns, removes the skin, and goes back to the village. He is amazed at what has happened. That night, he has an idea. He will become the Gunakadate again and look for fish. He puts the skin on, becomes the monster, and easily catches a huge salmon. He returns to his human self, hides the skin, and brings the fish back to the village, and they're all happy. And so each night, he becomes the Gunakadate and brings more food home before dawn, sometimes a seal, sometimes even a small whale. He tells his wife eventually of his secret, just in case something happens to him, and so she knows where he's been going at night. Some stories say the other sea creatures, such as whales, realized his deception and killed him for it. Others say he simply drowned. But one morning, the Gunakadate is found dead on the shore. By this stage, the village is prosperous again, and all are fed, and none think him lazy. And so the young man's spirit returns to the ocean, which he truly loved. His wife would sometimes see his spirit as the Gunakadate, and when she does, great prosperity comes to the village. It is said that if you see the monster, you too will be blessed with great fortune. Your plant companion for the month of November is the salmonberry, and your crystal companion, easy, labradorite. I want you to really think about the metaphors here. They're almost inescapable. you having to test out and try out this other self. While maybe keeping it from everyone. Sorry, you can probably hear my mom. While maybe not telling anyone what you're doing at first. You may have to take this opportunity and work really hard at it and work really hard towards it before you're able to come back and say, hey, I'm doing A, B, and C. This is what I'm doing. And like I said before I even pulled this card, eventually you are going to be prosperous and you're going to have some I told you so moments. But hopefully at that point, you won't feel the need to say I told you so, because you're going to be spiritually elevated. I really hope this helps. I hope you have an amazing birthday. I love ya. And if you need anything, hit me up. And also let me know when and how this resonates. I really could use the validation. Bye.